Learning a new language was definitely a big barrier we had to overcome. Growing up, we often found ourselves trapped in elementary classrooms where dictionaries were our major resource to help us acquire the English language. For some reason, teachers were encouraged to talk in Spanish as less as possible, so every day we often found ourselves lost in the words of our teachers. In my case, I came to El Paso to start first grade after completing pre-K and kinder in Juarez. I did not know a word in English, and I have to admit, I was very concerned. Although I was placed in a bilingual classroom for first to third grade, it was very difficult for me to learn English. For some reason, my teachers didn't allow us to speak Spanish at all in our classrooms. Starting fourth grade, I was placed in a monolingual classroom. For some reason, my third grade teacher believed I was ready to move on, while I, on the other hand, did not feel ready. Although I understood the English language for the most part, I was not yet fluent, and I was very concerned that I was not going to do good in the class. But surprisingly, that was a year I learned the most English. Although I was successful in school for the most part, now that I look back to those years, I realize that my experience acquiring English could have been more positive if school officials hadn't restricted our teachers to only speak English in their classrooms. Because of this, I do believe that there are many policies that need to be changed in our education system in order to create better learning environments.
Mientras hacíamos esta actividad, me di cuenta de las adversidades que la mayoría compartimos, del esfuerzo que nos ha tomado el continuar nuestros estudios. El vivir en una frontera conlleva ciertos sacrificios y algunos beneficios, como por ejemplo, algunos estudiantes viven en Ciudad Juárez y deben cruzar todos los días los puentes internacionales, enfrentándose no solo a líneas largas, sino a cambios en el tiempo, el clima, el estar lejos de tu familia también. Yo alguna vez hice eso, vivía en Ciudad Juárez y cruzaba todos los días, a veces solo para llegar a una clase o para estar en la línea 2 horas y media y llegar y darme cuenta que la clase había terminado o sido cancelada. Lo que me gustaría cambiar del sistema educativo es que nuestros maestros sean más conscientes del tiempo que invertimos al venir a clase, el tiempo que nos toma el hacer nuestras tareas también, así como el juntarnos en equipo o ponernos de acuerdo para hacer algún proyecto.
Todos tenemos batallas diferentes al tener que aprender a hablar inglés. El ir a la escuela y ser forzado a comunicarte en un lenguaje con el cual no te identificas es devastador. Tener que usar un diccionario bilingüe para poder pasar un examen es un poco vergonzoso. El hecho de que tus maestros te nieguen el derecho a hablar el español con tus compañeros es triste. Como muchos de nuestros padres vinieron a los Estados Unidos con la esperanza de que sus hijos tuvieran una vida mejor y con más oportunidades, lo único que nuestros padres quieren es que un día lleguemos a tener una educación mejor a la que ellos tuvieron. En mi experiencia, el aprender inglés era la única manera de salir adelante en esta nación. Al ser bilingüe, tuve la oportunidad de entrar al Dual Language Program, pero mis padres la negaron. Decían que tomar clases en español era como ir un paso atrás. Hasta ahora que estoy ejerciendo esta carrera, mis padres se dieron cuenta que su opinión sobre el Dual Language era equivocada, que la habilidad de hablar correctamente el inglés y el español es una gran ventaja.
I attended private Catholic school from pre-K to 8th grade. I wasn't exposed or privileged to bilingual education until I started high school. I feel like by then it was sort of too late to be involved in bilingual and dual language classes. My family speaks both English and Spanish, but in my home, English is the primary language. I didn't realize how much the language barrier affected me until I started working and traveling. Through my travels, I would realize that I knew more Spanish than I thought, and it gave me the confidence to try to learn more. Although I understand Spanish, I lacked the ability to speak the language, which was an extreme downfall when it came to conversing with people at work. I have picked up on a lot over the past couple of years, but still don't feel comfortable enough to hold a conversation. I hope that soon I become more comfortable to speak Spanish so that I will be able to teach a lesson in Spanish for those who have yet to master English as a language.
To end our presentation, we feel that we were all exposed to similar challenges. Learning a new language for most of us was an obstacle we had to overcome. Although we had positive experiences throughout this journey, we do feel that if our teachers were to be more conscious of our situation and look for ways to make our language learning easier, our learning experience would have been more positive. We feel that it is important for teachers to understand that the struggles of English learners are very different from those students who are native English speakers, that instead of making them feel targeted because of not knowing how to speak English, they should embrace their ability to speak Spanish. This way, all students could benefit.